Part 1, The Harsh Truth No One Told You, After 60. There comes a moment in life, somewhere around 60, when the world suddenly feels quieter. Not because life becomes easier, but because you finally begin to hear things you were too busy to notice before. And in that silence, a harsh truth reveals itself, slowly, painfully, but unmistakably. The truth is this: most of the things you spent your life worrying about never truly mattered. Most of the people you tried to impress have already forgotten your efforts. Most of the battles you fought turned out to be storms you walked through alone. And most of the sacrifices you made were invisible to the world. It is only after 60 that many people realize something they were never taught: your life was never meant to be an endless list of obligations to others. You spent decades running, giving, proving, fixing, apologizing, and trying to make everything around you perfect, and yet, life still moved forward without gratitude, without pause, without recognition. This is the first harsh truth: no one will value your time more than you do, and no one will protect your peace unless you learn to protect it yourself. After 60, you see people differently. You see who called only when they needed something. You see who cared only when it was convenient. You see who stayed silent when you needed support the most. You see who used your kindness as a resource and who treated your generosity as a guarantee. And with that clarity comes the second harsh truth: not everyone you loved was capable of loving you back. Some gave you moments, few gave you loyalty. Some shared the road, few shared the burden. Life after 60 is not the end of anything, it's a new beginning, but a beginning built on truth instead of illusions. And one of the hardest truths to accept is that you cannot go back and fix the years you lost on people who didn't deserve them. You cannot rewrite your past, but you can reclaim your future. You can decide, for the first time, to choose yourself without guilt, without hesitation, without apology. Another truth that surfaces after 60 is how something as simple as peace becomes more valuable than anything money can buy. In youth, you wanted success, recognition, and approval. Now, you want mornings without stress, conversations without hidden intentions, relationships without disappointment, and days without pretending. The older you get, the more you understand that peace is not a gift, it is a decision. A decision to stop fighting battles that drain your soul. A decision to say no without explaining why. A decision to walk away from noise disguised as love. And maybe the harshest truth of all is this: time is the only currency that never comes back. You can lose money and earn it again. You can lose people and meet new ones. You can lose opportunities and create others. But every minute you give away is gone forever. That is why life after 60 must be lived with intention, not habit. With honesty, not fear. With gratitude, not regret. So ask yourself: who brings peace into your life, and who takes it away? Who values you, and who only values what you do for them? What habits steal your time, and what moments bring you joy? What memories still hurt, and which ones deserve to stay? After 60, you owe no one your silence. You owe no one your energy. You owe no one your explanations. But you owe yourself the chance to live the years ahead with clarity, dignity, and freedom. The harsh truth no one told you is simple: your life belongs to you again. Not to the expectations of others. Not to the past. Not to mistakes or regrets. Not to people who never understood you. These years are yours, finally, truly, completely yours. And accepting this truth is not the end of your story. It is the beginning of the part you were always meant to live. Part 2, The Mistakes You Must Stop Paying For, After 60. There comes a point in life when you finally understand that you have spent too many years paying for mistakes that should have taught you a lesson long ago. Not financial mistakes, not only emotional ones, but the mistakes of giving too much, trusting too easily, staying too long, and apologizing too often. After 60, these mistakes become heavier, not because they matter more, but because you finally recognize how much of your life they silently consumed. One of the greatest mistakes many people continue to pay for after 60 is the belief that they still owe something to everyone. For decades, you may have carried the weight of family expectations, the demands of ungrateful people, the obligations forced on you by tradition or responsibility. You may have tried to fix problems that were never yours to fix, or save people who didn't want to save themselves. And now, looking back, you can finally admit it, most of that weight was not yours to carry. After 60, you must stop paying for the mistake of sacrificing your own well-being for the comfort of others. You spent years putting yourself last. You convinced yourself that your needs could wait, that your dreams could be postponed, that your happiness was a luxury you couldn't afford. But that was a lie you were taught, a lie you repeated, a lie you believed. And now comes the truth, your happiness is not selfish, neglecting it is. Another mistake you must stop paying for is believing that you have unlimited time. When you were younger, you thought later was always an option. Later you would rest. Later you would travel. Later you would chase your dreams. Later you would take care of your health. Later you would say the things you held inside. But later has turned into now, and now you realize that time is not a river, it is a drop that falls once, and never again. After 60, you must stop delaying the life you want. Stop waiting for the perfect moment. Stop believing that someday everything will align. It won't. Life doesn't wait, and it never has. The moment you decide is the moment it begins. One of the harshest mistakes people continue to pay for after 60 is holding on to the wrong people. People who drained you. People who hurt you. People who used you as a backup plan. People who remembered you only when they needed something. You kept them in your life out of loyalty, habit, fear, or the hope that they would eventually change. But they didn't. And they won't. Their role in your life was to teach you, not to stay. After 60, the price of keeping the wrong people becomes too high, because they don't just take your energy, they steal your peace. And peace, at this stage of life, is priceless. Another mistake you must let go of is the habit of explaining yourself. For decades, you justified your decisions, softened your words, kept quiet to avoid conflict, and apologized for things that were never your fault. You tried to be kind in a world that didn't always return kindness. You tried to be strong when no one saw your effort. But now, you deserve the freedom to live without defending every step you take. After 60, your decisions belong to you. Your life belongs to you. Your silence is no longer required. You also must stop paying for the mistake of ignoring your own body. You spent years pushing yourself beyond your limits, carrying stress like armor, sleeping less than you needed, eating in a hurry, rushing through days that never gave anything back. But your body remembers everything, every sleepless night, every burden, every moment of neglect. Now, more than ever, you must treat your body as the home you are going to live in until your final day. No one else will take care of it for you. No one else can. After 60, taking care of your health is not an option, it is a responsibility to yourself. And finally, the mistake you must stop paying for is the belief that it is too late to change. Too late to start again. Too late to choose differently. Too late to live for yourself. That belief has stolen more dreams than failure ever did. The truth is powerful, you are not too late, you are right on time for the life that is finally yours. Let go of the mistakes. Release the guilt. Free yourself from the debts of your past. Because after 60, the only thing you must pay attention to is your peace. Part 3, the people you must stop giving power to, after 60. There comes a moment after 60 when you finally recognize the silent truth you ignored for most of your life: some people were never meant to hold the power they had over you. Not because they were stronger, wiser, or more deserving, but because you kept giving them access to your heart, your time, your energy, even when they gave nothing in return. For decades, you might have allowed certain people to shape the way you felt about yourself. Some made you doubt your worth. Some made you feel guilty for wanting peace. Some used your kindness as permission to take advantage of you. And some controlled your life simply because you didn't want to disappoint them. But after 60, your soul becomes tired of carrying people who were meant to walk on their own. And the first truth you must accept is this: you are no longer obligated to give power to anyone who drains your strength. There are people who take without asking, and people who hurt without apologizing. People who love only when it's convenient, and pretend to forget you when life gets easy. People who expect you to be available every time they call, but disappear when you need them the most. These people should no longer have access to you, not your time, not your emotions, not your peace. After 60, your peace is your priority, not their comfort. Another type of person you must stop giving power to is the one who makes you feel small. These are the people who criticize your choices, judge your life, and compare your success to theirs. They want control, not connection. They want you to feel dependent, not confident. They want you to doubt every step, because your fear keeps them in control. But the truth is simple: anyone who tries to dim your light is already intimidated by its strength. You do not owe anyone the smaller version of yourself to make them feel bigger. There are also people who drain you without doing anything wrong. They don't insult you, they don't argue, they don't cause chaos, but their presence exhausts your spirit. They complain endlessly, they expect you to carry their emotional weight, they rely on you to keep them upright because they don't want to stand on their own. And after 60, you must recognize that not all burdens are yours to hold. You can love people without sacrificing your sanity. You can care without fixing. You can support without losing yourself. Another group you must stop giving power to are the ghosts from your past, the memories of those who hurt you, the mistakes that haunt you, the regrets that whisper in the dark. These shadows take more from you than any living person ever could. They replay old pain. They freeze you in moments that should have been released long ago. They convince you that you cannot change, cannot heal, cannot begin again. But the truth is harsh and liberating: your past has power only when you feed it. And after 60, it is time to starve it. You must also step away from the people who pretend to care only when others are watching. Those who offer kindness for appearance, not sincerity. Those who say the right words but never show the right actions. Those who promise much but deliver little. These people are illusions, and illusions steal time. The final group you must stop giving power to may be the hardest to face: the people you kept in your life out of guilt. Family, old friends, long-term acquaintances, those you tolerated because you felt it was your duty. But duty without respect becomes a prison, and guilt is its guard. After 60, you must choose relationships based on peace, not obligation. So ask yourself: who makes you feel lighter? Who makes you feel heavier? Who brings clarity? Who brings confusion? Who supports your growth? Who blocks it? Your circle after 60 must be small, not because you lack people, but because you finally understand the value of your soul. And the truth is simple, powerful, and long overdue. Letting go is not cruelty, it is self-respect. After 60, give your power only to peace, only to truth, only to people who treat your presence as a blessing, not a convenience. Part 4: What you must stop blaming yourself for, after 60. After 60, one of the heaviest weights a person carries is not age, not time, not the changes in the body, it is the silent guilt they never learned to release. Guilt for the past. Guilt for choices that cannot be changed. Guilt for words said too quickly or too late. Guilt for dreams abandoned. Guilt for staying when they should have walked away, and walking away when they wished they had stayed. But life after 60 demands a new truth: you must stop blaming yourself for things that no longer exist. The past cannot be edited. Only understood. And once understood, it must be released. First, stop blaming yourself for the people you could not save. You tried. You gave more than they'll ever know. You carried them through storms they created, held them when they refused to hold themselves, and stayed long after your heart was exhausted. But people do not change because you love them, they change because they choose to. Their pain was never your responsibility to fix. Their decisions were never your burden to carry. After 60, you must accept, you were not the healer of everyone's life, and you were never meant to be. Stop blaming yourself for choosing the wrong people. At the time, you chose with the heart you had, the knowledge you had, the hopes you had. You believed in their potential, not their reality. You saw who they could be, not who they truly were. That isn't foolishness, it is kindness. And kindness is never a mistake. What happened happened. The lesson remains. The shame does not need to. Stop blaming yourself for the years you lost trying to please others. You did what you thought was right. You believed that love required sacrifice, that loyalty meant silence, that peace meant never choosing yourself. But now, after 60, you know the truth, a life lived only for others becomes a life forgotten by yourself. It's not too late to reclaim what you deserve. Stop blaming yourself for your imperfections. Your younger self thought you had to be strong all the time, calm all the time, patient all the time. But you were human. You had fears you hide, tears you swallowed, anger you carried quietly, wounds you never showed. That doesn't make you weak, it makes you real. And real people break, heal, and rise again. Another truth, you must stop blaming yourself for the opportunities you missed. Life rarely gives perfect timing. Sometimes you weren't ready. Sometimes the door wasn't meant for you. Sometimes what you lost protected you from something worse. If it was meant to be, it would have stayed. If it left, it taught you something you needed. Stop blaming yourself for the moments you didn't enjoy enough. In youth, you rush. In adulthood, you survive. Only after 60 do you finally slow down enough to see what mattered. You are not guilty for living the way life demanded at the time. Stop blaming yourself for your silence, and for your voice. There were times you should have spoken but didn't. There were times you spoke when silence would have been easier. Both choices came from who you were then. Both led you to who you are now. Stop blaming yourself for the body that changed, the strength that faded, the speed that slowed. Aging is not failure, it is privilege. Many people never made it to 60. The wrinkles you see are victories. The gray hair is honor. The slow steps are wisdom. And finally, stop blaming yourself for not being the person others expected you to be. Their expectations were never your responsibility. Their standards were never your destiny. You owe no one the version of yourself that makes them comfortable. After 60, life becomes too precious for unnecessary guilt. You cannot rewrite your past, but you can rewrite the meaning you give to it. You can choose peace over punishment, acceptance over shame, truth over regret. Forgive yourself. Free yourself. And remember the most important truth of all. You were doing the best you could with the heart you had, and that was always enough. Part 5, How to Find True Peace, After 60. After 60, the world feels different. The noise is louder, the days feel shorter, and yet, strangely, the silence speaks more clearly than it ever did before. Peace, something many chased all their lives without realizing its shape, becomes the most precious treasure. And yet, finding true peace is not as simple as closing your eyes or avoiding problems. It is a skill, a choice, a discipline, a philosophy of life that only age and experience can teach. The first step toward peace after 60 is acceptance. Acceptance of what cannot be changed, acceptance of what has been lost, and acceptance of what was never yours to hold. Most of life's suffering comes from resistance, from fighting reality, from wanting things to be different, from wishing people were other than they are. After 60, you learn that peace is not about controlling the world, it is about controlling your mind. It is about letting go of battles you cannot win, releasing grudges that weigh down your soul, and forgiving those who never asked for it. Another step is setting boundaries. You may have spent decades giving your energy to anyone who demanded it, explaining yourself endlessly, apologizing for your existence, and sacrificing your comfort to meet expectations. But peace cannot exist in the presence of constant intrusion. After 60, you must learn to say no, without guilt, without fear, without hesitation. Saying no is not selfish, it is survival. Saying no preserves your energy, your focus, and your serenity. True peace also requires letting go of control over others. There is nothing more exhausting than trying to fix what others refuse to fix themselves. You cannot change people, you cannot rewrite history, and you cannot prevent life from unfolding as it will. Trying to do so is like carrying a river in your hands. After 60, you understand that your power is limited, and that freedom lies in releasing the illusion of control. Focus on yourself. Focus on your actions, your choices, and your inner calm. A critical element of peace is gratitude for what remains. After 60, it is easy to count losses, lost youth, lost opportunities, lost friends, lost strength. But peace grows when you shift your attention to what you still have: a body that moves, a mind that remembers, a heart that can feel, a family or friendships that endure, moments of beauty that still exist. Gratitude is not blind optimism, it is a conscious decision to acknowledge life's gifts, no matter how small, and to let them outweigh the pain. Peace also emerges through simplicity. Years of accumulation, complexity, and responsibility can weigh heavily on the spirit. After 60, the clutter of life, material, emotional, mental, must be pared down. Let go of possessions that no longer bring joy. Let go of routines that drain energy. Let go of commitments that serve appearances rather than meaning. Peace thrives in spaces that are clear, calm, and uncluttered. Another path to peace is forgiveness. Not for the sake of others, but for your own freedom. Forgive those who wronged you, not because they deserve it, but because holding on to anger and resentment poisons your own heart. Forgive yourself for the mistakes you made, the choices you regret, and the opportunities you let pass. Forgiveness is not weakness, it is liberation. Silence is a powerful ally of peace. After 60, you begin to see the value of quiet moments, of sitting alone without distraction, of walking without purpose other than to breathe, of reading, reflecting, or simply observing the world. In silence, the mind unclutters, emotions settle, and the soul remembers who it is without the noise of society, expectations, or fear. Finally, peace comes from living intentionally. Every choice you make can either drain or nourish your spirit. Every word you speak can either disturb or calm your mind. Every relationship you maintain can either uplift or exhaust your heart. After 60, you have the clarity to choose wisely, to surround yourself with people who bring serenity, to engage in activities that enrich your soul, and to leave behind anything that disrupts your inner balance. Remember this truth: peace is not given. Peace is earned. It is cultivated through boundaries, forgiveness, acceptance, gratitude, and intentional living. It is a lifelong practice, one that only matures fully with age and reflection. After 60, the harsh truths of life fade when measured against the calm of your own presence. True peace is no longer a distant dream, it is a reality you can create, starting now, starting with yourself, and continuing as long as you breathe. After 60, peace is not optional, it is the reward of surviving, learning, and finally choosing yourself. Part 6: What you must let go of, after 60. After 60, life delivers a clarity few have ever known. The noise fades, the illusions crumble, and the soul begins to see the truth in stark, undeniable ways. One of the most liberating lessons of this age is learning what to let go of, not tomorrow, not someday, but now. Because holding on to the wrong things costs more than effort, it costs peace, energy, and precious time. First, let go of the need for approval. For decades, you sought validation from others, teachers, peers, bosses, partners, children, society itself. You bent, compromised, and conformed to earn approval. But after 60, you realize that seeking the approval of others is like chasing shadows. It never satisfies, it never lasts, and it often comes at the cost of your own truth. Let go. Your life is yours, not a performance for others. Next, release old grudges and resentments. Every slight, every insult, every betrayal you have carried like a stone in your heart has weighed you down. At first, you thought holding on to anger protected you, but it only chained you to the past. After 60, holding resentment is an unnecessary burden. Forgive when you can, let go when you cannot forgive, and remember that freedom begins when you unclench your fists. Let go of fears that no longer serve you. Fear of failing, fear of judgment, fear of not being enough, fear of what others think, these fears may have guided you through life, but they also held you back. After 60, your experience has taught you that most fears are illusions. Life is finite, and courage is measured not by the absence of fear but by the strength to act despite it. Let go, and allow yourself to step into the unknown with dignity and grace. Release the need to control everything. You may have spent years attempting to organize, predict, and manage every outcome: work, family, health, finances. But the truth is simple: control is limited, and life is unpredictable. After 60, you begin to understand that peace does not come from control, it comes from acceptance. Let go of what you cannot change and focus on what you can: your attitude, your choices, and your presence. Let go of people who drain you. Not everyone deserves your time, energy, or love. Some relationships were toxic from the beginning, others became so over time. After 60, it becomes painfully clear that not all people in your life are beneficial to your well-being. Letting go is not cruelty, it is wisdom. You owe your energy to yourself first, and to those who reciprocate it second. Release the need to prove yourself. Whether in career, family, or social life, you may have spent decades striving to show your worth, to achieve recognition, to earn respect. But after 60, external validation loses its charm. True value is internal, not measured by accolades, status, or approval. Let go, and embrace the quiet dignity of knowing your own worth without asking permission. Let go of regret and what-ifs. Every path you did not take, every choice you wish you could undo, every mistake you replay in your mind, they are lessons, not sentences. Life has a way of balancing itself, and hindsight offers clarity but not chains. After 60, regret is a luxury you cannot afford. Learn from it, acknowledge it, and release it. Let go of societal expectations. Society has rules for how you should look, behave, and live, but these rules are arbitrary and often harmful. After 60, you finally have the freedom to ignore these pressures. Wear what you like, speak your truth, spend time as you wish. Let go of the opinions that do not matter and embrace the freedom that comes with self-determination. Finally, let go of the illusion of permanence. Life changes. People leave. Health declines. Opportunities vanish. Clinging to what cannot last creates suffering. But releasing the illusion of permanence allows you to cherish what remains, to appreciate moments while they exist, and to live fully in the present. After 60, letting go is not about loss, it is about liberation. Each release is a step toward clarity, calm, and joy. Each thing you let go of creates space for something deeper, more meaningful, and more aligned with your true self. The harsh, beautiful truth is this: the life you have after 60 is shaped less by what you hold on to, and more by what you courageously let go of. Part 7: How to use your time wisely, after 60. After 60, time reveals itself as the most precious resource. Unlike money, which can be earned again, or relationships, which can be repaired, time is absolute and irreversible. Each day that passes is a page you cannot rewrite, and every moment wasted is a loss that cannot be regained. The harsh truth no one told you is this: after 60, you cannot afford to live aimlessly. Every choice, every action, and every interaction matters more than ever before. The first step to using your time wisely is to identify what truly matters. For decades, society has taught you to chase achievements, status, and recognition. You were told to measure success by promotions, possessions, or popularity. But after 60, clarity emerges. The things that truly matter are simple, moments of joy, peace, love, and understanding. Time invested in these areas is never wasted. Time spent on superficial pursuits, grudges, or unnecessary obligations is time lost forever. Another principle is prioritizing your health. Time is meaningless without the energy to enjoy it. After 60, your body and mind require more attention than ever. Sleep, proper nutrition, exercise, and mental clarity become not luxuries but necessities. Every hour you dedicate to caring for yourself multiplies in value, for it extends your ability to live fully, to engage meaningfully, and to savor life's beauty. Time is also best used when spent with people who uplift you. Relationships shape your emotional and mental well-being. After 60, it becomes obvious who truly matters. Some people drain your energy, some encourage growth, and some bring peace to your soul. Invest time in those who enrich your life. Walk away from those who do not. The law of time is clear, it compounds, not in money, but in the quality of your connections. A key strategy is to say no to distractions and obligations that do not serve you. After 60, the temptation to please everyone or keep up appearances often lingers. Stop it. Every hour spent on someone else's agenda is an hour stolen from your freedom, your purpose, and your joy. Learn to decline without guilt, to detach without shame, and to protect your time as fiercely as you protect your peace. Time after 60 is also best used in reflection and learning. Your experiences are your treasure chest. Reflect on them, document them, and share them if it brings value. Continue learning, whether through reading, traveling, or new skills, because time invested in growth never depreciates. Even small actions, like journaling, meditating, or simply observing the world, enrich your perspective and strengthen your inner peace. Avoid wasting time on regret and what-ifs. Life's past decisions are unchangeable. Replaying them endlessly is a form of self-imprisonment. Instead, extract the lessons and release the burden. Time spent dwelling on what could have been is time that cannot be spent on what can still be. Use your time intentionally in acts of kindness and contribution, but carefully. Giving back, mentoring, supporting loved ones, these are valuable investments of time. But do not confuse giving with self-sacrifice that harms your well-being. After 60, discernment is crucial, your energy is finite, and how you allocate it defines your life's final chapters. Another truth is the importance of presence. Many spend years physically present but mentally elsewhere, worrying, planning, or regretting. After 60, being fully present is a superpower. Every conversation, every meal, every walk becomes richer when attention is focused, not divided. Presence transforms ordinary moments into extraordinary memories. Finally, accept the ultimate truth about time, it is your most honest teacher. After 60, you understand that time cannot be borrowed, paused, or reclaimed. It only moves forward. The question is simple, will you let it slip away, or will you master it with purpose? Use your time wisely, and you will not merely survive your 60s and beyond. You will thrive. You will live, not by the clock, but by the heart. Every moment you choose intentionally is a victory over the fleeting nature of life itself. After 60, using your time wisely is the single most powerful gift you can give yourself, and it determines the quality of every remaining day. Part 8, How to Protect Your Energy, After 60. After 60, one of the most important lessons you can learn is that your energy is your most valuable asset. Unlike youth, when energy seemed limitless, after 60 it is finite, precious, and easily drained. The harsh truth is simple, every person you allow into your life, every situation you engage with, every thought you entertain, either strengthens your energy or depletes it. Learning to protect it is no longer optional, it is necessary for your well-being, your peace, and your happiness. The first step in protecting your energy is understanding its sources and drains. Energy comes from what nourishes your mind, body, and soul. Quiet moments, restful sleep, meaningful relationships, exercise, meditation, and creative pursuits replenish it. Energy drains from conflict, gossip, excessive obligations, toxic relationships, and negative thoughts. After 60, clarity about these sources and drains becomes sharper. You see who lifts you and who drags you down. You see what activities enrich your spirit and which leave you empty. Another principle is setting firm boundaries. For decades, you may have felt obligated to say yes, to family, friends, work, or society, even when it cost you peace. After 60, boundaries are essential. Saying no is not selfish, it is protective. Protecting your time, space, and attention ensures that your energy is spent on what truly matters. Every no is a declaration that your life belongs to you first. Protecting your energy also means letting go of unnecessary emotional burdens. Regret, guilt, resentment, and fear are invisible drains that sap your vitality. Holding on to them may have felt like loyalty, responsibility, or duty, but after 60, they serve no purpose other than suffering. Let go. Forgive yourself and others. Release the past. The energy you free by doing so can fuel joy, creativity, and serenity. Another truth is carefully choosing your company. Some people are subtle energy vampires, they complain constantly, demand attention, and never reciprocate kindness. Others are energizing, supportive, positive, and uplifting. After 60, you can no longer tolerate people who consistently drain you. Let them go. Surround yourself with those who nourish your soul, challenge you kindly, and inspire your best self. Protecting your energy also involves mindful consumption of information. News, social media, and endless streams of content can leave your mind fatigued. After 60, choose what enters your mental space wisely. Limit exposure to negativity, sensationalism, or gossip. Engage with ideas that educate, inspire, or uplift you. Your mind is sacred, treat it as such. Another key practice is honoring your body. Physical energy is often overlooked until it wanes. Proper nutrition, regular movement, hydration, and adequate rest are not optional, they are essential to preserving vitality. After 60, every effort to care for your body multiplies your ability to live fully. Neglect it, and even the best intentions for your spirit can falter. Protecting your energy also requires detaching from outcomes you cannot control. Worrying about what others do, how situations unfold, or whether life meets your expectations is a waste of energy. Acceptance of what is beyond your control conserves strength for what truly matters, your actions, your reactions, and your inner peace. Finally, protecting your energy means choosing joy deliberately. Engage in activities that excite your spirit, relationships that uplift your heart, and moments that bring laughter, reflection, and serenity. After 60, joy is no longer frivolous, it is restorative. It recharges your mind, heals your body, and strengthens your soul. The ultimate truth is this: your energy is finite, but its impact is infinite. Protect it, nurture it, and invest it wisely. Let go of anything and anyone who diminishes it. After 60, every moment spent guarding your energy is a step toward freedom, happiness, and a life fully lived. After 60, protecting your energy is the ultimate act of self-respect, because without it, nothing else matters. Part 9, The Truth About Happiness, After 60. After 60, happiness looks different than it did in youth. The fleeting pleasures, the chase for approval, and the endless comparison lose their power. Happiness becomes quieter, deeper, and more deliberate. The harsh truth is this: happiness is not something that happens to you, it is something you create and protect. The first revelation is that happiness is internal, not external. You may have spent decades looking for it in achievements, money, status, or validation from others. You may have tied your joy to the success of your children, the approval of your friends, or the recognition of society. But after 60, you realize that these external markers are unreliable, temporary, and often hollow. True happiness emerges from the mind, the heart, and the way you choose to experience life. Another truth is that happiness requires acceptance of what is. Life after 60 comes with its losses, friends, health, opportunities, and sometimes independence. Clinging to what is gone or wishing things were different only steals joy. Accepting the reality of your circumstances does not mean resignation, it means clarity. Peace arises when you stop fighting the inevitable and start focusing on what you can influence. Acceptance is the foundation of lasting happiness. Happiness after 60 also comes from freedom from unnecessary attachment. Over decades, you accumulate possessions, opinions, and relationships that demand your attention, energy, and sometimes your stress. Detachment does not mean indifference, it means choosing what truly serves your well-being. Simplifying your life, letting go of what no longer matters, and focusing on meaningful relationships and experiences cultivates joy that endures. A key aspect of happiness is presence. In youth, the mind constantly races, planning, worrying, regretting, or chasing the next goal. After 60, presence becomes a superpower. Every moment fully experienced, a conversation, a meal, a sunset, a shared laugh, builds lasting contentment. Happiness is woven from these simple, conscious moments. Another truth is that happiness requires gratitude. The ability to notice and appreciate what remains, even in the face of challenges, transforms perception. Gratitude shifts focus from scarcity to abundance, from pain to possibility. After 60, the smallest blessings, a kind word, a quiet morning, a memory, can ignite profound joy. Happiness also comes from choosing meaningful engagement. Activities that nourish the mind, body, and soul, reading, walking, creating, teaching, helping others, give life a sense of purpose and fulfillment. Idle time, wasted energy, or meaningless distractions may feel comfortable, but they rarely cultivate deep satisfaction. After 60, deliberate engagement is essential. Another powerful truth is emotional responsibility. Happiness is not determined by others' actions, opinions, or behavior. After 60, you understand that assigning responsibility for your joy to anyone else is a trap. You may be influenced by external circumstances, but the decision to remain content, to cultivate calm, and to seek joy is yours alone. Happiness also grows from embracing imperfection and letting go of comparison. Life is messy, unpredictable, and filled with both blessings and trials. Measuring yourself against others or expecting perfection only creates frustration. Accepting your journey, your limitations, and your unique experiences open space for genuine contentment. Finally, after 60, happiness is about legacy and connection. Sharing wisdom, creating memories, and fostering relationships that enrich both yourself and others provides a profound sense of purpose. Joy multiplies when it is felt together, when your life becomes a quiet force for good in the world. The ultimate truth is this: happiness is a conscious choice, cultivated through presence, gratitude, acceptance, and meaningful connection. It is not granted by circumstances or people, it is claimed by those who understand its value and refuse to settle for anything less. After 60, happiness is no longer a pursuit, it is a practice, a mindset, and a gift you give to yourself every single day. Part 10: How to Embrace Your Freedom, After 60. After 60, life offers a freedom few have truly recognized. Not the freedom of youth, reckless and untested, but a deeper, quieter freedom earned through experience, survival, and understanding. It is the freedom to make choices without fear, to live without obligation, and to honor your own truth above all else. The harsh truth is this: true freedom is rarely granted, it is claimed, nurtured, and fiercely protected. The first step in embracing freedom is releasing the chains of expectation. For decades, you may have lived according to the expectations of others, family, society, colleagues, friends. You may have sacrificed desires, ambitions, or even comfort to meet standards that were never yours. After 60, you finally understand, these expectations are not law. They are opinions. You owe your life only to yourself. Let go, and reclaim the choices that define your happiness. Another key to freedom is letting go of guilt. Many spend years weighed down by imagined failures, regrets, and the belief that they owe something to everyone. After 60, you see clearly that guilt is often a prison constructed by your own mind or imposed by others' judgments. Freedom is walking away from it, choosing to act in alignment with your values, and no longer apologizing for claiming your rightful space in the world. Freedom also comes from declining unnecessary obligations. Not every request deserves a yes. Not every expectation demands compliance. After 60, you realize that energy is finite, and every yes carries a cost. The courage to say no liberates time, peace, and purpose. Boundaries are the gateway to self-determination, and protecting them is an act of strength, not selfishness. Another vital principle is choosing the company that nurtures your freedom. People who gossip, manipulate, demand, or criticize restrict your autonomy. Surround yourself with those who respect your choices, encourage your growth, and celebrate your individuality. Freedom grows in the presence of those who uplift, not those who constrain. True freedom requires detachment from outcomes beyond your control. Too often, life's burdens come from trying to predict, manipulate, or control situations and people. After 60, clarity arises, the world unfolds regardless of your wishes. Liberation comes from focusing only on what you can influence, your attitude, your decisions, your presence, and releasing the rest. Embracing freedom also demands honoring your time. Every day that passes is an opportunity to live intentionally. Fill your hours with what matters, not what distracts. Travel, read, create, reflect, love, or rest, but do not waste precious moments in pursuits dictated by obligation or fear. Time is your most valuable currency, and after 60, spending it wisely is an act of sovereignty. Another truth is that freedom includes embracing your voice. Speak your mind, share your perspective, and live without silence forced by fear or habit. After 60, courage is not the absence of fear but the choice to express your truth despite it. Silence may have protected you in youth, but now it limits your full experience of life. Finally, freedom is the acceptance of impermanence. Nothing lasts forever: health, wealth, relationships, or youth. Recognizing this truth does not bring despair, it brings liberation. When you stop clinging to what will inevitably change, you create space for joy, peace, and presence in what is here, now. The ultimate truth about freedom after 60 is this: it is not granted by others, inherited, or delayed. It is chosen, cultivated, and fiercely protected by those who understand the value of their own life. Every decision to honor your peace, prioritize your joy, and claim your time is a declaration of freedom. After 60, freedom is not a dream, it is a practice, a responsibility, and the most profound gift you can give to yourself. Part 11, The Legacy You Leave, After 60. After 60, the mind often turns naturally to legacy, not in the sense of wealth or material possessions, but the imprint of your life on the world, on others, and on memory itself. The harsh truth is simple: legacy is not what you accumulate, but what you leave behind in the hearts, minds, and actions of those who follow. After 60, the clarity of what truly matters becomes undeniable, and the way you live now will define how you are remembered. The first truth is that legacy is about values, not possessions. Money can fade, buildings can crumble, and titles can be forgotten. But the principles you live by, honesty, integrity, compassion, courage, echo long after you are gone. Every choice you make, every word you speak, every act of kindness adds to this enduring presence. After 60, you understand that the simplest gestures, listening attentively, giving without expectation, forgiving sincerely, can create a ripple that lasts generations. Another crucial truth is that your legacy is defined by relationships, not numbers. Children, grandchildren, friends, colleagues, even strangers you touch, they carry fragments of your wisdom, your love, and your example. Every moment invested in meaningful connection shapes the story that survives you. After 60, the people you nurture become the living evidence of your life's impact. It is not how many people know your name, but how deeply they remember your spirit. Legacy is also about courageous honesty. Speak your truth, share your lessons, and live without pretense. The wisdom gained through decades cannot be hidden without loss, it must be expressed, even if imperfectly. After 60, your voice matters, not because it is loud or celebrated, but because it is authentic and unreplicable. Your legacy is amplified when truth becomes your guide. Another aspect of legacy is the example you set. Actions speak louder than words, and after 60, there is no time for empty gestures. The way you handle challenges, the way you show love, the way you pursue joy, and the way you respect yourself, all of this forms a blueprint for others. Your legacy is not what you say you value, but what you demonstrate consistently. After 60, every choice is magnified by the perspective of a life fully lived. Your legacy also includes the lessons you impart. Life after 60 is rich with insight, lessons about failure, resilience, love, loss, and growth. Sharing these lessons with openness and humility ensures that your experiences serve others, not just yourself. Your story, when told wisely, becomes a lantern for those walking paths you have already traveled. Another truth is that letting go is part of legacy. Let go of bitterness, grudges, and regrets, because what you leave behind should be light, not burdened. The peace you cultivate, the wisdom you embody, and the joy you share create a more enduring legacy than anger or resentment ever could. After 60, the world does not need your complaints, it needs your calm, clarity, and example. Legacy is also about presence, not permanence. You may not be able to control how long you are remembered, but you can control how fully you live now. Every moment lived with intention, kindness, and awareness leaves an imprint. After 60, presence is more powerful than any plan or monument, it is the essence of what others carry forward. Finally, your legacy is a gift you give to yourself as much as to others. Living with integrity, cultivating peace, protecting your energy, cherishing relationships, and embracing freedom, all of these choices ensure that you leave a life worth remembering. After 60, your legacy is not a distant goal, it is the sum of the choices you make today, every day, with clarity and courage. The harsh truth no one told you is this: the only immortality that truly matters is the one you create through the way you live, love, and act. After 60, it is no longer about what you accumulate, but about what you give, and what you allow to endure in the hearts of those you touch. After 60, your legacy is the final reflection of your life, and the most meaningful story you will ever tell.